My name's Briony Kennedy and I am the founder of Adorn Cosmetics, and I wanted to personally welcome you as you begin your journey with Adorn Cosmetics. You would have received your ultimate sampler box, so what I want to do today is go through all of the products that are in here, because as exciting as it is, it's probably a little bit overwhelming as well. What do you do with all of these amazing samples? 21 of them, in fact. How do you color match? How do you put them on? What do you do when you've made the decision around color? If you're not sure about color, what do you do? So I'm going to take you through every aspect of this box and hopefully make this journey not only exciting, but one where you can, of course, continue your journey with Adorn Cosmetics by purchasing a full size and then, of course, our refills later on. So let's get started. You've received your box, and of course the box is in biodegradable cardboard. So once you've finished with it, please either return it to us or put it into your compost. Maybe use it as a re-gifting option as well. Okay, so now we're going to open up the box, and here we have all of the samples. Now, of course, first there is a little picture of me in there, and on the other side, all of the accreditation. So I'll just take you through these first if you're not familiar with them. Now, our whole philosophy is around luxury without the guilt. So when you're using an Adorn product, it's luxurious, it's beautiful, but there's no guilt associated with using the products because they're all natural, they're vegan, they're cruelty-free, they're made in Australia, they have refills, they're either biodegradable or recyclable as well, and they're allergen-free and toxin-free. Absolutely no guilt associated with using the samples. And what's more, when you're finished with these sample pots, you can use them as little travel size so that you can pop them in the gym or when you're traveling. And of course, you could also re-gift them. Once you figure out what colors are yours, maybe there's a few in the box that are not for you, re-gift them to somebody that would possibly be that color or enjoy that particular product. We really hope that you do that. Now, when you are finished with the samples, you can also send them to us for recycling. So that's amazing. Now, as I mentioned, there's 21 sample minis. And the great value of this box is not only in the sampling opportunity that you can do this from the comfort of your own home with your own lighting, is that you also get full-size brushes. Now, the brushes, of course, are vegan brushes. You've got your kabuki brush. This is the one that you will use to apply all of the foundation types. In fact, you can even use it to apply the BB cream that we have in our range. Now, sometimes the samples do change in here, so it's important to take notice of what's on the website when you have purchased this. But at the moment, I'm going to take you through what's in this box and, of course, how to use them and how to color match. This is the bronzer blush brush, and we also pop in a little lip wand so that you can, of course, try some of the lip colors that are in here. Now, when you get to using the brushes, you may like to continue using the little netting that comes on there. So you just pop it off like this, and you may choose to continue to pop it in the netting to keep the bristles nice and straight, especially if you're someone who uses your cosmetics in a bag. If you're someone like me who has it on a shelf, then you might not need to keep the netting. That's completely up to you. Now, if you want some information on how to clean your brushes, of course, that's all in our tutorial section of the website, and then we'll go through each step on how to keep and maintain good hygiene and good clean brushes. Now, let's get back to what's in this amazing ultimate cruelty-free box. Now, what we're going to start with is the kabuki. We've got the bronzer. I'm going to look down here because I want to make sure I cover all of the samples that are in here and make sure I don't forget any. And then I'm going to apply them so that you can see what to do. Now, we have our Hydration Brightening Daily Primer. Okay, now this is the first step. You're going to pop this on just like you would a moisturizer. So on cleansed skin, in good lighting. Lighting's always best to have in front of your face, not behind you. So if you've got natural lighting in front of you, you're going to color match much better to your face than if you've got lighting behind you, because that's going to cast shadows. Also try and color match where you don't have downlights popping over your head, because again, that also casts shadows. So the most natural light in front of you is going to give you the best true color for your skin. Now, the primer, pop that on first after cleansed skin, and then what you will do is put on your foundation and color match that foundation. I'm going to take you through that in a moment, so don't stress. All right, so with that, we have 5 shades of the loose mineral foundation. Okay, there's 5 shades. There are all kinds of tones, pink, neutral, and yellow. Okay, now it depends on what box you've purchased. There are a few different options, and you may have used our color matching service to pick the best box for you. But there's 5 shades to choose from, and I'm absolutely sure you will find one in there. If you do not, always contact us at head office, and we are there to assist you with a different color. Okay, now the loose minerals have an SPF of 20 plus, so not only are they a foundation in their own right, but they also offer sun protection, which is amazing. It doesn't matter what skin type you have or what age you are, you can use the loose minerals. Now, if you've got an oilier skin type, you may just pop them over the top of the primer. If you've got a drier, more mature skin, or you just prefer a dewier look, then you may like to make sure that you pop the loose minerals over the top of a primer, as well as one of our facial oils, which of course you can get a sample of also. There are 2 shades of the liquid foundation, which is oil free rather. So there's 2 shades of that, and there is also 2 shades of our hydrating cream foundation. Now I will show you what the full-size versions of these look like as well, just so you can get your head around how you would apply them as a sample, because that's quite unique. It's a little bit different how you're going to put this on and dispense it as it would be to the full size. Obviously the full size are a lot easier to apply. Now we've also got in here 2 shades of the BB cream, which has an SPF of 15 plus. We've got 2 shades of the natural mineral bronzer. Okay, so it's a really beautiful natural glow, and of course it can help to warm your foundation, or it's perfect for those of you that just want a really natural look. Now you've also got 3 shades of our loose blush. There are 1 of the oil control setting powder. There's also a loose mineral illuminizer or mineral highlighter, and there is also 1 lipstick swatch from the classic range, and we've got 1 loose mineral eyeshadow. So this is all within the box. It is a perfect way to get started with the basics so that you can build on that foundation once you've become addicted and become an adorner, like I know you will. All right, so let's get started on how to apply these. If you forget after you've watched this, there is a little card in here that explains how to dispense and apply the different types, so loose versus the cream sample. So there's a little option there. If you're watching this and you've just got the box in front of you, what you might like to do is watch this again when you're ready to start applying it, and then pop me on your phone or something like that so that you can pause in between each product that I am showing you. Okay, so let's get started. Exciting. Okay, so first of all, we are going to pull out the Daily Brightening Hydration Primer. So again, this is your moisturizer as well as your primer. It's a 2-in-1. It's about simplifying things that you're not spending an hour to get ready in the morning. You could use this in conjunction with your moisturizer, but I think whilst you're trying our products, just use this first on cleansed skin. And again, if you've got more of a drier skin type, you might like to use a facial oil like rosehip oil or one of our other oils over the top of this before you start color matching to some of the other colors. Okay, so let's pop this on. Now you can use your fingers if you like, and about that much is enough. So you can see this sample might be quite deceiving, but there is quite a few uses in these. And in fact, all of the samples are very deceiving, to be honest. The foundations, it goes without saying, you need more of that product, so they are not going to last as long in respects to application amounts, okay? But you're still going to get a few uses. Perfect amount of time to gauge whether you like the product, if it's the right color or the right type of foundation for you. When it comes to some of the bronzers and some of the products that you only need a small amount, those samples are going to last you a very, very long time. And in fact, you might take a little while to get through them before you commit to the full size. Or you might, like me, like to keep what ones you love as your travel size and purchase the full size as your go-to everyday kit, so that when you are traveling, you just grab your kit and you go and it's all there. Okay, so what we need to do now is color match foundations. Now, there are, as I said, the three options in there. There's the loose, the liquid, and the cream. Okay, now they all come in these sample pots. But to give you an idea, if we grab the cream foundation just here, now that's been set in the pot like that. Now, when you actually purchase this product as a full size, it in fact looks like this. So it's actually a wind up stick. Okay, so super convenient. You just wind it up. Don't wind it up any more than you need to, of course. But if you are finding, yep, this is the one for me, this is the type that I want, then when you're looking for it on the website, it is under and looks like this. It's a stick, a wind up stick. So of course, a lot easier to use it like this than initially using it as a sample, but hey, we get to try it before we commit to it, and that's what it's all about. Okay, so what we might do is grab out the spatulas that are in the box. Okay, so these are your applicating spatulas, and they look like this, and they're actually just in the top here, just above the first few samples. So if you open them and think I haven't got them, they're just wedged in there, hiding away. Okay, so what we're going to do to color match, as I said at the beginning, there's 5 loose mineral foundations. What I suggest is playing with those first, okay, and just to ascertain what color you are. Now, the best way to color match is to your chest or your décolletage. It's usually the darkest area of your face, neck, and chest. It's usually the darkest, and it's the area that you should color match to, so that of course you look healthy. And that's what it's all about, looking healthy, glowy, and radiant. It doesn't matter what age you are, it's always best to color match to the décolletage. More mature women, I find, definitely have a darker chest area, and it's more important to do so then. If you're color matching just to your neck, then going for that slighter lighter shade is in fact going to make your skin look more dry. It's going to draw attention to fine lines and large pores. So please, if you've got a darker chest, do not be tempted to color match to your neck. Your neck is always lighter than your face and your décolletage. So it can be a common mistake that women make by going to match to that. It means you then opt for a lighter shade. Light things make you look, or make things look bigger. So your pores will look bigger, fine lines, deep wrinkles will look bigger. Your dry skin will look more so. If you've got flaky skin, it will draw attention to it. So pick the right base. So it may be a pink base, yellow base, or a neutral base. Get the right color, but if you can go that little bit darker, always opt for that, because that will make you look more youthful, more healthy, and more radiant. And I can promise you, you won't need as much makeup everywhere else, because you already look healthy and dewy just by selecting the right shade. So, looking at the loose minerals, color matching to your chest, it should just disappear. Now, when you're color matching to your chest, it may mean that you possibly have to put the foundation on your neck, so that you're color matching to here, and you're therefore putting it on your face. It might be a little bit darker than your face because you're color matching to this area, but it's the right tone, like it should just disappear. So if you just pop a little bit of the loose on, and a tiny bit, don't get too much, because the loose minerals are super pigmented and they are a foundation. They're not just a dust over the top. These are a foundation, and you'll see what I mean in a moment. But see how that's just nicely disappeared. So you just pop your finger into the sample pot of each of the shades, and about that is enough, like barely anything, okay? And just again, as I said, pop a little bit on your chest, And if it disappears, it's a perfect match. If it looks white or opaque or pink, then try the next shade or try one of the other shades until it disappears like this. Now, getting back to what I was talking about before, it may mean that it's slightly darker than your face, and it could be a little bit darker than your neck, and you might need to put this product on your neck. But this is the secret to creating that healthy looking overall look. It's about balancing out the skin so it looks even. And this is the tip to doing it. So I use the medium olive, okay? And I will pop it down my neck because it is a little bit darker than my neck. But why wouldn't you? When it's got the SPF 20+ in the loose minerals, protect your neck because of course it shows the signs of aging. So the loose minerals I'm going to show you how to apply. And of course, I'm also going to show you how to apply the cream. I think it's just good to get an idea of how you would do that. Now, the liquid foundation also comes in the sample pot. There is a lot in there. Don't be tempted to get it all out and put it all over your face or you will waste it. Just get your spatula and just get a tiny little amount, about that much, and see how much is left. Okay, and then just dot that around the face and blend it. So always dot it down the middle of the face and blend it out. This is after you've found your correct shade. So if you're medium olive in the loose minerals, you will be the medium olive in the liquid or the cream. So get that color right and then you'll know which liquid or cream to choose. Okay, so that is how you would pop this on, always down the center of the face and blend out. Not only does it look more natural, you use less product, but it's going to be less harsh on your skin blending it that way. All right, so that's the liquid. And when you do opt for the liquid as a full-size product, it comes in an airless pump like this. Okay, so you can see this is one that I use at home and you can see the mechanism has started to move up and that will continue to move up until it's finished, which means that you get full use of the product, but it also means that we don't need to use heavy preservative systems with our liquids because they are protected against air or oxidization, which is great. So this is the liquid pump. All right, so getting back to the loose minerals, you've established your color, and if you haven't, you can always grab some help via our live chat, the color matching service again, or of course you can email or phone us. We are here to help you because we know once you get the right color, you're going to fall in love with Adorn, but more importantly, you're going to fall in love with yourself. And this is what it's all about. It's just about feeling confident in your own skin. And often, if I'm honest, most times women don't like makeup. It's because they've picked foundations that are wrong for them. And it's usually that they've picked foundations that are too light, okay? I can't stress this enough. You've got your samples, you're at home, you're feeling comfortable, have a play. You've got all of the colors. What can you lose? Put it on your face, see what you look like. If you don't know and you want a second opinion, why not put one on one side, one on the other, and send that to us and we'll give you your opinion, our opinion as well. Do that, it's totally fine. Okay, so the loose minerals, all you need to do is, personally, I grab a little tissue. So if I'm traveling now, of course, I've got the full-size pots, which this is how they come. So they come in a full-size pot, but I like to use these little samples for traveling. Now, when you are using these, you might want to grab, again, your spatula. Just pull out about this much. Again, look at how much is left. So deceiving, and we don't use any fillers. This is pure minerals, pure pigment. I promise you, you're going to be blown away by how teeny tiny amount you need. Okay, so don't be judgy these are going to last you quite a while. All right, so about that much. In actual fact, that's probably going to be way too much, but I'm going to put it on a tissue anyway. If you find you've got some of the minerals left, all you need to do is just shake the minerals to the middle like this. Okay, and then tip it back into your sample pot like that so you don't waste it, okay? So all I've done is I've just tipped that little amount that was on the spatula onto a tissue that's just below me here, and I'm going to work from that with the foundation kabuki brush, okay? So this is my personal one. I haven't used the one straight from the box, but all you need to do is now dab this onto the tissue, not straight from the pot, okay, because you're just going to create a mess and you'll also get too much on there. Now, before I show you how to put this on, I also wanted to mention the refill program. So once you've converted to a full size loose product, doesn't matter what it is, whether it's a bronzer, blush or foundation, we do have refills available, which is amazing. So when you have eventually gotten through your full size foundation pot, please grab a refill satchel or sachet. The environment will thank you for it, and so will we, and of course it helps with landfill as well. You can also return these to us for recycling if you want, but please grab a refill. They're amazing. Same grams, it's cheaper and it's better for the environment. Okay, so your kabuki brush. Now, the tip for flawless looking foundation, and you're going to be wowed by the coverage that I get from this, okay? This is coverage. This is not just a dusting. Okay, you can get as many different types of coverage as you want. If you like a lighter coverage, you might like to use the blush or bronzer brush, okay? Dab it on the tissue, get it nice and even on the brush, and just pop it down your T-zone. Maybe that's enough coverage for you. You just want a barely there tinted moisturizer coverage. The loose minerals will do that. If you want absolutely flawless camera finish, then it will give you that as well. And it's just by using a different method with the kabuki brush. So let me show you how you can get that. I've dipped it onto the tissue and you can see that I've got a little bit of the minerals covering this area here, and it's nice and even. There's no chunky bits or heavier areas. It's all nice and even. So I've dipped it into the minerals on the tissue like this, and then what I've done is I've just sort of quickly gone like that to make sure it's nice and even. Okay, and you would do the same thing when you get your full-size pot, except you would use the lid of the pot. So if it's even on the brush, it goes even on your skin, and you don't get the fallout onto your clothes. That's the little tip or trick that I like to use. Now, again, if you want a slightly heavier coverage than using the blush bronzer brush, which is also a foundation brush for those that want lighter coverage, if you want a slightly heavier coverage, using the kabuki brush, you would use circular motion. Okay, all over the face or just when needed. But if you want a slightly heavier again, then you use a stippling motion, and that is this push press. So you'll see I'm not swirling it, I'm just pushing it on the skin. Now, what I love about the minerals is not only the versatile coverage, the SPF that you get, but it also calms redness. So if you're someone who has rosacea on your cheeks, the zinc and the titanium dioxide, nano-free, nanotechnology free, help calm redness. So think zinc on babies' bottoms. This is what it's doing. This is calming your redness down. So it's treating the skin, it's protecting it from sun damage, it's protecting it from pollutants getting into the skin. So if you're a non-makeup wearer, this is still the best product to go with, because all of the pollution and dirt and grime is going to land on top of the foundation, not your skin. So this is the most natural, best form of foundation to use to keep your skin looking amazing. Now, it will also help minimize the appearance of pigment. See how that's just helped minimize my pigment damage on there as well. Look, here we go, a little bit of fallout there. Now, these capes are actually available. So if you are a bit of a messy applier, you could use these capes, okay? These are purchased under the tools section of the website as well. Okay, that is just super flawless, effortless, easy coverage. So you can just see that on this side, you can still see a little bit of the pigment, a bit of capillary sort of damage here, and on this side it is much more flawless. And again, of course, I could make that a little bit heavier again. Now I'm just going to continue applying this, and then we'll move on to the next product. And as I mentioned at the beginning, I'm going to pop this gently on my neck. Now, being water and sweat resistant also, this is perfect for those of you that do feel that you've got more of a sweaty, oilier skin, or that you're in a more humid climate, or maybe you're someone who likes to exercise and you want a little bit of coverage. Okay, so this is perfect for that because it's sweat and water resistant. It's not rub resistant. So if you're going to rub your face with a towel, of course, you know, a little bit of it may come off, but this is the foundation that you would definitely use for the best staying power. Perfect. Love it. Okay. All right. Now, if you decided at this point you want to try the cream stick, which of course comes in the sample pot as well, grab your spatula and do the same thing. You just would grab, so you just don't gouge it out, just scrape a little bit out. Okay, a little bit like that. And then you could just dot that onto your face. Now, if you just scrape small amounts, it actually what that does is it warms the product up with a bit of friction. So you just place that on the T-zone and blend it out. If you take big chunks out and try and dab that on, the chunk's probably just going to drop off. So again, you want to make sure that you scrape it very gently, you get little bits off at a time, dot it around and then blend it. That's the little tip to using these sample pots. Okay, so now what we want to do is look at, okay, how do we use some of the other samples that are in the range? Okay, so the next step for me within this box is looking at a bronzer. Okay, so this is the next step that I like to use. And again, you might not like to use bronzer, but this is how I apply it. Popping open the little sample. Again, there's lots in there. Don't use too much. And you can either use the blush bronzer brush that comes in the box, or you might even like to use the kabuki brush, or you might like to use the kabuki brush to actually help blend. So when you've applied your bronzer, if you feel that if you've applied too much, then always grab the kabuki brush as a way of blending any mistakes or any heaviness that you might have applied. So I'm going to use the blush bronzer brush, okay? Just dipping, you could use it straight from the sample pot here. But again, because the sample pot's a little, I do think that the area to get the brush in, you wouldn't want to put it on your face like this because it's going to just all fall out and you're not going to get a really good blend. So I love having tissues on my bench. I find when you're leaning over towards a mirror, it's less messy because it's falling on, any fallout's going onto the tissue. But of course, more importantly, you're just popping the brush onto the tissue like this, getting it nice and even like that. And then it's ready to put on your face. Now, you might want to just put this on your cheekbones, dipping more of the sample pot and then straight onto the tissue, because I want to get this nice and even. And I'm popping it around my hairline, and you can actually get these awesome headbands too from the tool section. So if you want to protect your hair from getting makeup on it, these are awesome. Okay, so you just pop these on and they've got a little bit of a Velcro there as well. And there's also a hair towel in there that you might want to try. Okay, so I like to just, for warmth, again, it's about creating warmth to the skin, and then that obviously will always be a lot healthier looking. You can see how much healthier does this side of my face look to this side of my face, which is quite flat. It looks flawless, but it's still quite flat. So it's adding dimensions back into the skin with bronzers and blush to look even more natural. So I'm just following the hairline, the cheekbone, a little bit under the cheekbone, and then along the jawline. And for some of you, you might like to put the bronzer down your neck to again bring up the color of the neck to match the décolletage and the face. So sometimes if you prefer, you could lift the color of the neck by using just a bronzer if you don't want to put foundation on your neck. And again, if you feel that you've put too much bronzer on or you've blobbed it too heavy, get your kabuki brush, sweep it backwards or downwards, going with the hairs on the face, and it will miraculously get rid of the mistake or the excess that you have put in that one area. So essentially, even though you're having a play, you can't get it wrong, because you just grab the kabuki brush, dust over the top of the area that you're not happy with, and it will make it blend seamlessly for you, and it will link all of the products together so that you look like you've spent ages being a makeup pro, almost putting all of these products together, when in actual fact it's the kabuki brush that's just helped eradicate whatever the mistake is that you might have made, or if you've just made a product too heavy in an area. Now, I like to just use the rest of what's on the brush, just the leftover, just to gently go over the face so that it doesn't look too structured. It looks more natural. So I haven't added any more bronzer. I'm just now gently going over the top of my whole face to make sure it's all effortlessly blended. Okay. Now, of course, there are tutorials on how to apply all of these products individually. So if one of the products interests you more than another, then head to the tutorial page to check that out. This is really just about how to color match, what's in this ultimate sampler box, and what sort of support we offer to help you around using it and not being so overwhelmed when you see all of the samples. Okay, so moving on from the bronzer. Now, you might like to put the little samples in a separate section that you're loving so far, so you don't think, oh, hang on, what loose foundation did I prefer, what's on my face? So as you're applying them, the ones that you love, just put those separately so that they are the to-buy products, or the ones that you want to continue using for a few days, so that you don't forget which one you were falling in love with the most. That's my little tip. One of the other products that's in here that I haven't used with this particular demonstration, but that is the Skin Radiance Liquid Illuminizer. Now, this product is so beautiful. You could use this just by itself if you wanted just a little bit of a dewiness to the cheeks, you didn't want to wear foundation that day, or you can use it underneath your foundation. Again, you just pop a little bit on the cheeks or the forehead. I know some of our adorners use it all over the face. It's up to you. It's a beautiful, dewy radiance product, okay? It is designed to use mixed with, so you could mix it with your liquid foundation, mix it with your cream stick, or underneath the loose foundation. Okay, so just to give you a bit of an idea how this product looks, you can just see, look at that nice radiance that it gives. So you might even like to put that down the center of the nose, on the lips, to give a little bit of a pout. But the liquid illuminizer is very much about giving that dewiness and that healthy look to the skin. Just use little bits of it, just like all of the other products. Okay, so now the blush that I'm going to try, and again, you've got a couple of options in here, is I'm going to just go with, in this particular box, I'm going to go with the Coral Radiance. Again, just pop the lid off using the same blush bronzer brush, and just, that is heaps. That's going to be enough for both of my cheeks, okay? So again, I'm just dabbing that onto a tissue now to get it nice and even. Oh, that's not quite even enough. Let's give it a bit more of a dab. That's better. That's nice and even. And I'm just going to pop this on the apples of my cheeks. And then once I've applied it, just swirl it around up and back towards the hairline. Now, you want a little bit more, you can definitely add more now, but always build rather than trying to take it away. It's easier to add, it's harder to take away. Again, you could use the kabuki brush if you put too much on and you wanted to look a little bit more natural, or if you wanted to tone the color down. So this particular color is the Coral Radiance if you're interested. Okay. So that's the blush, okay? So you put your bronzer on first, then your blush. And now, mineral highlighter. So this is the highlighter. Again, tiny little bit. Anyone can use a mineral highlighter, but what I recommend is if you've got large pores or lines, fine lines, deep lines are a concern for you, just don't put this product on those areas. So you might want to pop them in the temples. Sometimes as we age, we get sunken in temples. So putting the highlighter there can create the illusion of that being less sunken. You might want to create more dewy looking higher cheekbones. So pop it on the cheekbones here. Okay, but if you've got deep crow's feet, maybe just pop it down a little bit lower or miss this area altogether. I like to put it on my forehead, but if you've got a particularly wrinkly forehead, then you would avoid that area because anything that's light or has a shimmer can make things look bigger. So it's really just finding the areas that this will work for you. I also love it on my collarbones. So it would just be a matter of dusting that on the collarbones. It just looks so pretty. And you could also use this as an eyeshadow. Okay, so it's just a little bit of dusting it on with the eyeshadow brushes that you may have at home, one of our eyeshadow brushes that you can purchase from one of our sets, or being that it's such an easy shade to work with, you could just use a finger and just pop it under the brow bone. So this not only enhances the brows, and gives them a really good defined shape, but can make the eyes look a little bit bigger as well. So that's just popping it under the brows. You might also like to put it in the corners of the eyes to make them look brighter and healthier. Again, use a brush or your fingers, up to you. So this is really about exploring all of the different options that you've got. I do think that when you're using the Ultimate Sampler Box that you start with the basics and get comfortable with those first. That is the foundation, the blush and the bronzer and the brushes. Just get really comfortable with those, and then once you feel that you've nailed that and you're comfortable with that, then explore some of the other products that are in the box. As I've said before, there are more specific tutorials for the areas or the products that you're most interested in. So if you really want to nail how to put the loose foundation on, there is a tutorial for that. If you would like to nail how to put the cream stick on, there is a tutorial for that. Every single one of the products has a tutorial, and you'll be able to watch more step-by-step instructions of how to apply it. The Ultimate Box is really for you to begin your journey with Adorn so you can ascertain what's going to suit you, what color, what type, and of course that we're here to help you pick the right shades and how you use these sample pots. Okay, now if you've got more of an oilier complexion or you prefer more of a matte finish, there is the Oil Control Setting Powder, and that is a white looking product, but it goes on quite clear. Again, you could just put a little bit on the same brush, getting it nice and even from the tissue, and just dust it down your T-zone. I love this because it helps to refine and minimize the look of your pores a little bit. That's my favorite. So around the nose, I love to put this on. It does also tone your look down. So if you feel that you've made it a little bit heavy or you've been a bit heavy-handed, it will tone your makeup look down. And of course, it will just bring all of the makeup seamlessly together. It's awesome to lightly dust it over the top of your eye makeup just to help lock that down as well. So if you're struggling with your eyeliner or eyeshadow staying put, this is a secret weapon to keeping your eye makeup on that little bit longer. Now also in the kit we have an eyeshadow, okay, and all you need to do with this particular one is just pop a little bit on a brush. You could use this wet with an angle brush as an eyeliner, or you could use it dry. So you could use a wet or a dry brush, use it as eyeliner, use it as brow dust if this suits your brows, of course. You could use it as an eyeshadow, as a full lid, just as a crease. It's really up to you. There's so many uses for the eyeshadow. All right, and then we've got our lipstick. Now the lipstick is a swatch, okay? It's a cute little swatch in the middle of this, and this is where your lipstick comes into play. So don't scrape the whole lot off. Again, it's quite deceiving. Just rub it on the top or take the corner away and then pop some on your lips, because the lipsticks again are quite pigmented. What's amazing about these is that you can also use them as cheek stains if you wanted to, not just as a lipstick. All of the Adorn products are super versatile. You can use them for whatever you want. You don't need to just stick to what we have promoted them or sell them as. So for example, the loose foundation, you could mix that with moisturizer to make it a liquid foundation. The bronzer, use it as a blush or an eyeshadow. The blush could be used as an eyeshadow. Any of the loose products, so blush, bronzer, eyeshadows, anything can be used wet, so you could use it as an eyeliner, you could use it as a wet eyeshadow for more of a metallic look, or use it dry. You can use products on your cheeks. You can also use the blush and bronzers as a lip color and then pop a gloss over the top. Honestly, there are so many endless ways that you could use our products that it's super exciting. It can be a little bit daunting, but all I can suggest is this: have a play. You're at home, you're comfortable, no one needs to see you. Just see what things do and see what you're comfortable with. Now I'm going to just put a little bit of this, so you can see how pigmented it is, just on the apples of my cheeks. So you can see a little bit goes a long way. I love using two blush colors, honestly. Like, I like to put a more neutral one on first and then a pop of color. So depending on what lipstick shade you get in there, you can get that really nice pop of color on the cheeks and of course on the lips. If you're a concealer wearer, I would definitely recommend putting your concealer on after the foundations, okay, not before, because you're simply going to be buffing them away. Now again, if you feel that you've just put some blush on, I just want to show you what I mean by the kabuki. See how that's just toned that down? And there we go, we've got a much more natural, still got the color, but a much more natural, subtle look to the cheeks. I hope that this has been somewhat informative for you. I know it's been quite a lengthy video, but I really wanted to just take you through step by step every product, how to use each product type, how to use the samples, not to get too daunted by everything that's in the box. Just go simply, go small and build up as you're getting confident. There's no point committing to all these different products and you don't know what you want to do or how to use them. Start small, and most importantly is getting the correct color. Okay, we're here to help. We've got the color matching. If you need a second opinion or you just don't find the color for you, please let us know, because we know once you do, you'll make the switch to Adorn. I'm Briony Kennedy. Thanks for your time, and I look forward to seeing you as one of our Adorners.